Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. My name is Carlos. Today, we're going to be getting into some diet tips, reviewing a leg session, plans for the next few months, and some pretty interesting things. I hope you'll find them interesting. But before we do, please hit that subscribe button, hit that post notifications, share, like, leave a comment. Helps with the algorithm. Anyway, so today we'll be overviewing our leg session. Uh, the purpose now with the training is to get as large as possible. For the last 3.5 months, or since the 20th of June, since the summer solstice, I embarked on a diet, on a cut, calorie restriction, trying to do everything according to the book, and by and large, it really worked. Went down to 10.3% body fat, retained almost all of my strength. My lifting at the gym was going great. Stalled out the last few weeks. Did learn some lessons. I learned that cardio is just not for me, considering my particular lifestyle and where I live. I'm a highly active person living at high altitude. My personal calorie needs are probably a lot higher than most. I'm 5'11", normal body fat and body weight, 210, 20%, 18% body fat, somewhere around there. That's how I usually was before I got into like training hardcore and really tracking my diet and everything. So all things considered, this was a success for me. I've never ever, been below 15% body fat. To get down to 10 was like the happiest thing for me. It was like success. But I didn't really like the results at the end. The last 3 weeks. Now I know that people who compete and they're going to go on stage, they have to get like really lean down to 6, 5, 7% body fat. They suffer a lot, and they do lose some muscle. Now, since I'm not competing, the last thing I want to do is lose muscle, for God's sakes. And for the last 3 weeks of that diet, I didn't progress. I actually gained a half a pound of fat and lost 2 pounds of muscle. I was doing cardio. I was restricted on the diet. I was doing no carb meals interspersed, very few cheat meals. I was very, very strict, and by and large, I was suffering most of the time. I was very hungry. I would eat a meal, and then I would immediately be hungrier. It's like shit. I got 4 more hours to go until my next meal. So it was like this daily thing, trying to go to bed earlier to not think about food. It's, at night you can really lose your mind and binge. So I was very under control. I was very happy with my robotic discipline. I was very, very disciplined, and I didn't get the results I wanted, like to the max at the end. I mean, I'm happy with my results, but I expected better results for those last 3 weeks. And what happened? I went sideways and backwards. So, lesson learned with that, just train harder next time. Don't go so low on the carbs. Don't do the cardio, or at least not to the extent that I was doing it. I was doing 1 hour, and I wasn't doing fasted cardio. I was just doing an hour of low intensity, steady state. But for me, it ate my legs. Supposedly, the kilo or the 2 pounds of muscle that I lost on my legs. And today I'm going to be reviewing a leg session, which I've been doing, for the last, several months. And I refuse to believe that it's the training that made me lose my muscle. It was these other factors. So, the new mission, and I have a mission. Everything is according to an overarching plan. I want to get as big and as large and as muscular as possible over time. I want to reach my 60s being very, very jacked and very muscular. That's my plan. That's my goal. So how am I going to? So this entire cut was with a view of rebounding. I've been studying this rebound, the reverse diet, how to get the most out, after a cut, after a competition, all these things, what people do. And it seems that there is an anabolic rebound. There is a time window after a prolonged, protracted period of calorie restriction where you can build the most amount of muscle. So that's what I'm doing right now. Like, today's Sunday, next Wednesday will be a week. I started the rebound on Wednesday. Today is Sunday, and I've already gained 13 pounds. and I'll put up some pictures at the end. I'm looking even harder and more leaner than when I was at my lowest, 179. Today I'm 193. And my goal is I'm not putting a limit on it. I just want to get large. I'm going to take as long as it takes, like 9 months, 10 months, 11 months, maybe the whole year, just bulking. So quickly before I get into the routine, what I've learned about bulking, like in the past, I never really paid attention to the dietary fat. I was just going for the calories. Say my maintenance is 3,200 calories. I would try to go for 4,000, 4,200 calories. And I really wouldn't take into consideration the dietary fat. And as the bulk progressed, as what happens with many people, I got sloppy. I would eat whatever, a lot of snacks, just a high amount of dietary fat without really knowing it. And of course, fast foods when you go out, restaurant food and all of that. The difference this time around is very, very low intake of dietary fat. Now, the reason is every gram of fat that you eat on a high carb diet, a high protein, high carb, all that fat does is go straight to your fat cells. It will not be used as energy. Your body will use the carbohydrate sources for energy, and your fat will be stored as fat. Now, some people will say, oh, but you need the healthy fats. You need like the little tiny, most negligible amount of dietary fat for health, okay? You don't need 90 grams. It's like, 10, 12, 13, and I'm not advocating for that. My dietary fat will be between 50 and 70. But I'm not going up to 120 or 150 grams. That's ridiculous. It'll all just be stored as fat. So, and it's not easy to eat 4,000 calories with that limited amount of fat. That's a lot of carbohydrates. And those carbohydrates, when they're low in fat, are not that palatable. So it's hard to eat that amount of food, the high carb, medium or high protein diet with very low fat. That's the secret, guys. That is the secret they have not been telling you for bulking. If you do it this way, maintaining very high carb, very low fat, you will gain mostly muscle as long as you're training your ass off in the gym, making PRs, high volume, and very heavy weights. Okay? You will be building muscle, by and large. Sure, you'll increase some body fat, but way less than on a dirty bulk. Okay, so let's get into this session. The staple for the coming months will be 5 exercises between 2 heavy compounds and 3 machine or free body weight exercises. I like to transition between a very heavy lift, which is psychologically taxing, and something that's easy to just make the workout flow a lot better. So I'll usually, I'll always warm up with like a bicycle for 10 minutes just to get the body core temperature up. And then I'll usually go into my heavy compound. Usually, sometimes I'll do like a Bulgarian split or a body weight lunge at the beginning and at the end. I'll try to do 5 sets of Bulgarian splits. So I'll do like 2 sets for warm up with no weight, and then I'll do my compound, which can be, at this stage, I'm going to be doing leg press or hack squat. Sometimes I'll do the Smith squat. No free weights, no free weight squat. I have determined that for me, it is a very low productive exercise. I can do a lot of weight, but it's not perfect form. My biometrics aren't really built for the squat. I've tried, endless hours. I've done the pause squat at the bottom. I've put up a lot of videos doing squats, and they're okay, but I don't like them. Not anymore. They're not the best exercise for building your legs. They're great for power, for athleticism. I want to build my legs. So the most ideal exercises for those are the hack squats and the leg press. You get very strong on those. So first exercise will usually be after my warm up of Bulgarian splits. I'll do a leg curl. I was doing 5 sets of those on the volume training. Since we're bringing the intensity up, we're only going to do 3 sets, but we bring the weight up. Before, it was between 70 and 110 pounds. Now these 3 sets will be between 80 and 150 pounds. Rep ranges before were 15 to 20. We'll bring those down to 12 to 15. and tried to really up the intensity. After the leg curl, straight to the leg press. Leg press, throughout this entire training block, I was doing between 3 plates and 6 plates. That's a very moderate weight. You see guys on the internet doing 10, 11, 14, 16 plates on each side. Some of these, like IFBB pros, very strong. It's a very useful exercise. I've derided this exercise in the past with the partial reps and stuff as not being productive. Now, you have to consider what is like the partial rep that I'm talking about. Some people just they'll move it like an inch. No. As long as you bring it down close to 90 degrees and maintain the tension on your quads, and this is what I've been doing the last few sessions, and on this particular one, my quads were pumped, like from the knee up to the hip. The front of my leg was pumped, especially when I got up to the 5 plates, then I finished. I got 6, and then I did it with 7. Just, boom, 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 doing the 7 plates. My goal is to get up to 8, 9 plates, work with that rep rate, with that weight intensity, and maintain the reps between 8 and 10. Not bring them below 8. If you can't do 8 with that, then you should be able to. If you bring them down too low, of course it's going to be more difficult, longer range of motion, more energy, but less activity on the quad. You will get more, other muscles involved, but what we want is to target the quads and the adductors. So once we're finished with the leg press, we go into the adductor machine, which is a very neglected machine, but I find it very useful. This is a particular movement that requires greater mind-muscle connection. Don't let just the machine do the movement for you like you're just crunching. When you hit the peak contraction with the adductor, squeeze it like you're in a wrestling hold and you got somebody between the legs and you're squeezing. You squeeze for a second, let go. Squeeze, let go. Squeeze, let go. So start with the leg curl, leg press with heavy weight. 5 sets of those. On the compounds, we'll be doing 5 sets because we have feeder sets. Like you don't go straight into your 7 plates, right? You're going to hurt yourself, or at least I would hurt myself. So I have to start out kind of low. I'll do with 3 plates, but that's not a working set. That's not doing it for me. Neither is the 4. But you got to do it, and then 5. Well, now you're getting into some work. 5, 6, and 7. So I've got 3 working sets. We'll leave the 3 and 4 plates as feeder sets. So total of 5 sets, 3 of them working sets. And the adductors, 3 sets on those. 3 working sets. You're already warmed up. You don't need feeder sets. Just, contract and crunch, contract and crunch. Done with those 3. Then we move on to our second heavy compound, which is the hack squat. Man, if you can get strong on the hack squat, those will build the legs better than any other leg exercise. You can really pile on the weight with that, with the hack squat. When you get your proper leg placing, you can, on this one, it is advisable to go a little bit deeper because your back is being supported. You're not trying to stabilize, you're doing a good morning squat. No, you're stabilized, your back is scrunched against the pad. You try to go deep, not all the way down. You try to break parallel. It's a long range of motion for us, taller guys. So that's the second compound. Here I started out with 2 plates and finished with 2 plates and a half. 5 sets. And here I'm doing a different strategy for the time being. Since I want to work up to 5 and 6 plates, and only at 2 right now, I have to do a power periodization for that particular exercise. And yes, it can be done. You can include a power periodization within your bodybuilding routine. At least I can, and I will. And I have done this, and it works for me. So what I do is 5 by 5s. 5 sets of 5 reps. And I didn't hit my max with the 2.5 plate. So next week, my goal is to hit 3 plates. I'll start off with 2, 2 and a 5, 2 and a 10, 2 and a 15, and 2 and a 20. That's kilos. So that'll bring me to the 3 plates, and I'll try to do 2 working sets of 5 reps. And then I'll be building that until I hit my 5 plates. Once I can do 5 plates with 5 reps, then I'll start building on the reps, because even though this is heavy weight, Still, the hypertrophy, or maximum or optimal or ideal hypertrophy, is between the 8 and 12 rep range. Although 5 will build. It will build your muscle as long as you're eating those calories. As long as you're eating that food, those carbs, you will be building the muscle. It's just you want to build the best possible. Once you get really strong, you start upping the rep range. Okay, so that's our last compound. You know, after the leg press, 7 plates, and you go to hack squat with 2-3 plates. And then we finish off. Last exercise will be body weight lunges, another 3 sets. Now, to be honest, I like to, use a little bit of weight on the dumbbells. I did do these with 60-pound dumbbells. They are a pain in the ass. They're very fatiguing. I can do them. Why don't I do them more often? They really, really bring on the DOMs and the pain in the glutes. And I should be doing them with heavier weight because they're exhausting. They're mentally taxing. And then, I won't want to do them the next time. So I don't try to kill myself in every session. I'll do the heavy weight on the lunges sometimes. But just doing the body weight lunge with a long stride, concentrating on hip flexion, really does it for me. Like I'll be building that up. I'll be building it up, but the bare minimum is body weight lunge. It'll work. It does work. It's a great finisher for this. And that's basically the leg structure. That's basically what I did today. Today was baseline, first workout of my bulk. Bulk started at 179 pounds, and I want to see how far I can take this. Today it's 193 pounds. Like 4 days later. So shit, it's going great. The scale is going up. I'm looking hard and lean in the mornings, looking a little bit veinier, harder, not soft. It's not spilling to the sides, not getting fat. You don't get fat that quick. That's the other thing. I mean, you have to eat like 3,500 extra calories to accrue body fat. So like that initial filling out was depleted glycogen. Like I was very depleted, dehydrated. Because when you're low glycogen, you're not retaining water. And so a lot of it is water, glycogen, but not body fat, and that translates to increased strength in the gym. When I get to the gym, I just want to lift heavy now. It's like, man, I'm just ready to go. And of course, that's the purpose of increased calories. You don't build muscle just by the virtue of eating more food. You get fat. You get overweight. You get sloppy by virtue of eating a lot of food. The way that translates into muscle is by increasing your lifts. That's why strongmen have to eat 8,000 calories because they're lifting 300-pound Atlas stones. Are you doing that? I'm not yet. But we wrist curls and biceps curls and bench presses and cable pull downs. That's not really high energy, massive calorie burn type of stuff. So if you're going to be eating 4,000 or 5,000 calories, make sure you're doing some pretty heavy lifting. Okay, make sure those sessions are at least an hour and a half long. At least 25 sets of hard work. Because pumping at the gym and eating 5,000 calories, I don't know. I don't see no guarantee to that for building muscle. You'll build some muscle, but the idea is to use your food to get stronger. That's what you want. And so when you diet down the next time, you have more muscle mass to show for it. So, okay, that's basically it for today. We reviewed starting at baseline, 179, building out, lifting more, going over this today's leg session. The secret to bulk is to maintain low dietary fat and high carbohydrates, which is harder than it seems. And that's basically it for today, guys. Anyways, thanks for joining me. Again, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you on the next time.